Okay, so let's take a look at some things about content areas. Content areas, as I explained earlier, are just sort of anything that you dump links or tools or content into. It's sort of like a folder, except there's also a tool called folders, so it's got to have another name because it's a little bit different. So a content area, in the sample course over here, a lot of these buttons are content areas. For instance, the syllabus, that's a content area. So if I click on that, I get to see what's inside this content area. Right here, you see we've got a section where we've uploaded some different documents that are central to a course, this fictitious course here. So this sample syllabus template, let's just go ahead and check that out. I'm going to download that and open up a copy. You can use a variety of different formats when you're uploading something into a content area. There's Word files are pretty familiar, and they can be uploaded as is, but RTF files are a lot more extensible. For instance, your student doesn't have to have Microsoft Word to download it. Here I'm actually using Apple Pages. That works for this document. You can use RTF files. It used to be kind of a concern. RTF files would not transmit viruses, where sometimes Word documents could. That's not quite as much a concern anymore, but the extensibility of an RTF, the compatibility, the increased compatibility of an RTF file is still certainly something you want to consider. And you can always save a Word document as an RTF as one of the options when you choose File, Save As. PDF files are also a really good idea because those preserve the formatting of anything that you create. So if you are really tied to your layout, if you want your document to be presented in a certain way and you want that not to change if your student hits enter on the keyboard, well, a PDF might be the choice for you. HTML is sort of our gold standard. If you want to code your document into HTML, that's a super duper accessible format. Because that can be looked at in a web browser. And ETMO can offer a little bit of help using a product called Dreamweaver, which is a pretty common HTML editor. A note about PowerPoint files. PowerPoint files are sometimes difficult to share across computers because if I have a different set of fonts, or if I'm using the Mac version and you're using the PC version, or Mercury is in retrograde, there's a lot of factors that can influence whether or not a PowerPoint file looks the same on my computer as it does on yours. So you might want to export that into like a Word handout or a PDF file. There's a lot of different options that you can explore, and we can help you with that. All you got to do is call us. So let's take a look at our syllabus template here. The ETMO sample course syllabus is, well, I think it's a thing of beauty. There are a whole lot of different things that you might want to steal, pillage, use in your own course syllabus that you can get right here. There's a lot of boilerplate language. For instance, we've got some integrity statements, a thing about clickers if you're using clickers. There's a bit about Wimba Live Classroom if you want to leverage that. There's a nice little table where you can include a list of all of your assignments and schedule information. You've got a whole bunch of options and work that's already been done for you. If you scroll down here, we've got a grading scale. We've just got a whole lot of stuff, and you really should check this out. If you're an instructor in any MU Direct course, you're automatically enrolled in this sample course, so you have access to that. And all you have to do is ask, and we will be delighted to share this information with you. But what I'd like to call your attention to in particular is this expectations section. You can, it's very easy to set up expectations for your student, but something that a lot of instructors don't do is set up expectations for themselves, for the students to have of them, which is a good idea. You want to give your students clear indications of what you can expect from, because particularly when you're teaching a web-assisted course or a fully online course, if you don't lay out exactly what your students can expect of you, then it's difficult to control what they expect of you. For instance, if I submit my paper at 3 in the morning, I might wonder why you haven't graded it by 5 in the morning. I'm up, why aren't you? This is the internet, everything's on all the time, right? No. This is a place where you can lay out the expectation that it might take me a couple of days to grade your paper. Or you know what, if it takes me a week to grade a major assignment, well, that expectation is laid out here. I will respond to emails within 24 to 48 hours, or, whatever electronic communication medium you use. I don't know if you tweet to your classes. That seems a little restrictive, but yeah, if you need to set expectations there for your students to have of you, particularly when you're in a web-assisted or an e-learning course. So that's the sample syllabus that we've got for you. Another section that you might want to take a look at is the weekly units section. That is right here. It's called course units here. It's called a lot of different things in different courses. So course units, weekly units, we have a template here that you can use that if you want to, set up your weekly sort of checklist for your students to accomplish as a downloadable document, that's something that you can totally do. Here you might want to put a series of folders. If you are teaching a 16-week course, you might want 16 folders in this area where you put everything for every week throughout your course here. That makes your course very organized. It gives your students one place to go so that they can go, they can do their reading assignment, take their quiz, turn in any kind of paper or written work that they might need to do, and submit it all here. There are some subsequent videos, and we can offer some additional help on those more higher level functions, but what I would like to show you is how you can make folders, and we'll get to that in just a minute. You can also use a tool called assignments. Well, it's called the assignment tool. We sometimes refer to it as the assignment manager. And it's a two-way communication tool for you to both explain to your students what a given assignment entails. So let's say you've assigned a term paper and you want to lay out exactly what it's for, what you expect of the student, what you expect them to learn from the assignment, and details of how you want it delivered. Well, the assignment manager tool does that for you. You can use it to communicate the nature of the assignment, and the students actually use this to submit the assignment. So they actually upload the assignment in Blackboard, and then it's accessible to you through the Grade Center. So let's take a look at this example here. Your student will click here. They'll see any instructions that you've offered. There's 50 points possible. There's even a downloadable attachment that I can click on as a student and get some details about this paper. I'm not going to do that right now because this is just to show you. So if it's a simple response that your students need to provide to you, they can type a response in here. If all you want is for them to write a paragraph, that might be the way to do it. If it's a more substantive assignment, for instance, the term paper example we were talking about, you'd want them to click Browse My Computer and actually upload a file that they have hopefully taken some time to prepare. They can actually provide some comments about it too, like, if this might be the dog ate my homework field, or I would hesitate to label it excuses, but that's where excuses can go. There's also some perfectly legitimate uses for it too. I don't want to color that with the wrong brush. And then the student clicks Submit to turn in the assignment. I'm not actually going to do that because I don't have anything to submit. And here is so that's the assignment tool. So let's take a look at web resources. That's another content area we've got for them. The ETMO homepage is a link that we've got here. That's just an external link. We also have a link to the e-learning website that I pointed out earlier. and then just some other general um, teaching tools and teaching resources that we've collected for you right here. So let's take a look at the blank site so that we can actually practice making some of this stuff. Let's go into our potatoes content area from earlier, which is still blank, and let's create an item. That is accessible from the Build Content menu. All you have to do is mouse over that, and now you have this list of all sorts of things you can do. And all these are kind of nifty. You'll notice that these over here are kind of new. But we're just going to make an item. So I'm going to click Item, and that brings me to this page. Now, the first thing, the required thing on this page is naming my item. So I could name it Syllabus if I wanted to. If I wanted to create this is where I'm going to upload my syllabus, that's fine. I would not encourage you to upload your syllabus in a content area called Potatoes. That's a little surreal. Your students might not be able to find it. But just for the sake of this example, that's what I'm going to call it. You can type any accompanying text here. For instance, this is the syllabus for our potatoes. I had a Dan Quayle moment there. Potatoes focused course. Okay. And you scroll down a little bit and you can choose Browse My Computer to actually browse for a document that you want to upload. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and there's some options here about date release. The most important one is clicking this radio button. That makes the thing that I'm uploading, this item, that makes it visible to the users of my course. So if I mark it no, that means it's invisible. So takeaway is click yes and make sure that that's visible. There's some date restrictions here. You can, on almost any Blackboard item, date restrict something. So it's only available after a specific date, or only until a specific date, or both. Now, you can easily get carried away with that sort of thing. For instance, a syllabus you want to be available all the time. If it's an assignment submission link, well, maybe you want that to go away at, midnight on the due date. Then that would be a great use of date restriction, because then your students need to submit it on time, or they need to talk to you about it. So I'm going to go ahead and click Submit to create my new item, and look, I've got my syllabus, which is actually not at all a syllabus. That's not what I uploaded. It's just a presentation aid for this very presentation that I'm giving you.